You know, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, what's the best time to stop? What's the right time to stop? You know, should I choose my birthday? Should I choose Christmas or something like that? Should I choose, should I pick a time where there's no pressures and stuff like that? I think there could be wrong times to stop, definitely. You know, I think if you're under too much pressure, then it's definitely not the right time to stop drinking or to stop smoking or to make any big changes in your life, right? But there's certainly no best time to stop for a couple of reasons. The first is ambiguity. Everybody who makes the change happen is doing it really under a kind of a duress, right? You know, you're being forced to do it, usually through psychological pain of one kind or another, right? And it's this duress that gives you the conflict. So you've got an internal ambiguity. Part of you wants to stop and the other part of you doesn't want to stop, you know. Part of you sees the future as only being possible. The things that you want to do in your life as only being possible when you extrapolate out from your current situation and what you're doing. You can only see that future as being possible by stopping drinking alcohol. And the other part of you is the instant gratification part that says, you know, there's nothing wrong with a couple of drinks. There's, you know, if I could only cut it down, if I can only moderate, all that kind of stuff. And so that's always going to be there as as something that will prevent you from making very clear decisions. You know, there's always going to be that backwards and forwards in your brain. You know, for the first few weeks and months, and a lot of the time people mistake that ambiguity for things like alcoholism, or I just can't do this because part of me wants to go back, and that part of me is in my brain and it's strong. So there's that part of it. And then there is the fact that how you feel today, you can have the ideal situation, the ideal conditions to do it today, but that doesn't mean to say that they're going to continue. This is a long journey. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but you have to take all those steps to get to that 1,000 miles. And as I said in a previous video, there are things that you can do to reduce the distance of the journey. Knowledge is a key. Knowing things about the journey. Like if I could go back and start this whole journey again, and I had to do that first year again, I would do more in that first year than I did in my first 5 years. But that's just because of the things that I know. So that can make the journey a lot shorter. But there is no shortcuts. You can't go from step 1 to step 2. You know, if you're talking about shortening the journey, you're talking about taking a journey of 1,000 miles and bringing it down to 800, 700, 500 miles, right? But there's no shortcuts in the sense that you can't take that first step and then the second step and the third step. So getting back to what we were saying at the beginning, there is always that, you feel good on day 1, but then on day 3 you don't feel so good, or maybe day 30 you don't feel so good, or 2 months into it and the pain has disappeared, the motivation that kept you going for those first 30 or 60 days, that has disappeared, and that just puts another pressure on it because those voices are still inside your head, that ambiguity is still there. So like I said, there's no right time to do this. You know, there's an old saying that says the right time to do this was 30 years ago. The second best time to do it is today. All right, if you need help at all, we've got our Habits V2 program. It's a very comprehensive program. It takes you through this whole journey step by step. It's everything that I've learned over the last 10 years. Hopefully it will help you as well. So take care of yourself, and speak to you soon. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.